for a vote every 2 years in every jurisdiction forever. That feels better, right? No need to think. Don't think. Just don't think. How you sell things to women. You convince them that they have a problem, and then you say, here, buy these vagina gummies.
In this video, we're going to break down Trump's latest foreign policy strategy. De-escalation through escalation. Spoiler alert, it's as nonsensical as it sounds. Join John Stewart as he scoops out the truth behind Trump's ice cream diplomacy. Speaking of leaky dams, the region might be flooded by Trump's next great peace initiative. What if I told you that he escalates the mayhem to 11 as part of his de-escalation strategy? It's the epitome of pure Trumpian logic, like trying to put out a fire by pouring gasoline on it. Hello everyone, and welcome to the bizarre world of Trump's foreign policy, where bombing for peace makes perfect sense and up is down. Our orange-tinted genius has developed a method that will make your brain spin around. Prepare for de-escalation through escalation.
De-escalation through escalation? That phrase is, where have I heard? It's right out of, hold on a second, let me see if I can find.
After all, why settle for something easy when you can cause it to blow up? Imagine this. At a formal dinner party, a red wine spill occurs on the white carpet. How do you proceed? If you were Trump, you would most likely pour the contents of the bottle all over the floor. Is the issue resolved now? That's essentially how he approaches peace in the Middle East. It seems that chaos increases when chaos decreases. It feels like he's playing 4D chess, only the board is burning and the chess pieces are grenades. Hold on, things get better. Even as it claims to be preventing a wider war, the United States is conducting military operations that have the potential to ignite one. It would be like to ordering a Diet Coke to go with your enormous lunch and calling it a health boost. Trump declares, "I'm watching my figure," dropping bombs like they're out of style. George Orwell would be left scratching his head over this peace plan's contradictions.
To this idea is de-escalation through escalation.
John Stewart, chagrined of his sardonic soul, called attention to how ridiculous this strategy was. He compared it to attempting to eat soup with a fork. While you may get some soup, you will mainly simply end up looking foolish and creating a mess. However, it's worth noting that Trump is consistent in his lack of consistency. What if similar reasoning extended to other spheres of life? Do you have a leaking faucet? Fill the entire home with water. My car is producing an odd noise. Light it on fire. It's Trump-style problem-solving. When you can just blow something up and call it peacekeeping, why needs real diplomacy now? So Trump has been engaging in political sleaze. But what if that's only the very beginning? Imagine a world in which ice cream cones are the new international symbol of diplomacy and carrier pigeons bring top-secret intelligence. Sounds absurd, doesn't it? Hold on to your sanity because things are gonna get rather strange. We've entered the twilight zone of Trump's foreign policy, ladies and gentlemen, where ice cream is everything and words have no meaning. Our grumpy Trumpy, the self-styled master of deals, believes that dairy products are the ideal means of bringing about peace. That's correct, people. Donnie Diapers is busy licking his way to diplomacy while the world burns. But there's still more. Trump hasn't really done much to bring about a truce, except from pausing for ice cream, as John Stewart, bless his satirical heart, pointed out. Stewart joked, so he made one stop for ice cream. Apart from that, though, there was always ceasefire.
We were so good, he stopped to get ice cream once! But other than that, it was all ceasefire all the time.
Yes, nothing screams "I'm working non-stop for peace" like a relaxed drive along a rocky road as missiles streak past overhead. Surely there must be some method to this madness. You may be thinking at this point, yes, there is enough of it around if by method you mean total and total chaos. With its military updates being as transparent as mud, the Israeli government appears to be copying Trump's strategy. Stewart made light of the possibility that they are sending carrier pigeons for updates. Because you can rely on birds that can become collateral damage, why use contemporary technology? Not to be overlooked, though, is the orange turd, the circus's headliner. Trump's remarks on the subject are a masterclass in employing a lot of words to express very little. He seems to be playing a political version of Mad Libs, where he fills in the blanks with adjectives like tremendous, beautiful, and like you've never seen before, rather than nouns and verbs. Imagine this. Trump stands to the podium, making frantically pointing gestures with his little hands, while he says, "People, there will be peace." Ultimate tranquility. No one understands tranquility like I do. You'll become weary of piecing since we're going to piece so hard. George Orwell would probably roll over in his grave and murmur something like, "I didn't mean it as an instruction manual, you know." And just when you thought it could get any crazier, Trump plays ice cream diplomacy, his ultimate joke. Since nothing quite says, "I'm a serious world leader," like haggling over 2 scoops of mint chocolate chip ice cream, why can't you see it right now? Trump and other world leaders are seated around a table and talking about trade agreements and nuclear disarmament, while their faces are covered in melted ice cream. It resembles a kindergarten field trip, but it might have cataclysmic effects. You might be thinking that Trump's fascination with ice cream can't get any stranger right now, but what if I told you that in addition to his typical tastes, he's now dishing out scoops of women's rights? Yes, our grumpy president believes he can use a sugar rush to address gender imbalance. Trump has excelled himself just when we thought he couldn't possibly devise a more absurd plan. Just picture the orange turd abruptly announcing that he is a supporter of women's rights. It's as plausible as a wolf unexpectedly speaking up in favor of sheep protection. But guys, here we are. In his infinite wisdom, Trump has determined that throwing an ice cream social is the best way to win back the support of women voters. I'm not kidding. It seems as though he believes that a few sprinklings of meaningless promises and a cherry on top will cure every issue facing women. Thank heavens for his sardonic soul, John Stewart couldn't resist pointing out how ridiculous it was all, comparing Trump's approach to women's concerns to a vagina gummy that claims to address every problem faced by women.
How you sell things to women. You convince them that they have a problem, and then you say, "Here, buy these vagina gummies." And yes, in this analogy, Trump is the vagina gummy.
I believe that. I will fix all of that and fast.
He made this comparison because it seems that in Trump's world, clever phrases and delicious goodies can solve complicated societal problems. Imagine the following. With a scooper in hand, Trump is positioned behind an ice cream counter, prepared to serve his daily flavor, women's rights ripple. With all the genuineness of a car salesperson, he acknowledges the problems of the ladies who approach him. "I have heard, ladies, that you're feeling more anxious, less secure, and poorer. Suck on some ice cream. It will improve everything."
Than they were 4 years ago, much poorer, are less healthy than they were 4 years ago, are less safe on the streets.
It's similar to witnessing a company that has been stressing out its clients try to convince them to buy stress-relieving merchandise all of a sudden. You could fit a truck through the massive disconnect. Of course, a truck full of rocky road. Hold on, things get better. Serving up scoops of promises so hollow that they make air-filled ice cream look solid is Trump's ice cream social for women's rights. It's as though he believes that by giving women an extra scoop of respect raspberry, he can make them forget about his past on subjects like abortion rights. As usual, Stewart cuts right to the chase, pointing out that Trump's pledges to women are as real as a chocolate-covered Brussels sprout. When you bite into it, you're going to get a terrible surprise even if it seems nice on the exterior, similar to Trump's policies.
I know what you're thinking. How can Trump expect women to support him when he took away abortion rights? Well, luckily, he has an answer for that. For a vote every 2 years in every jurisdiction forever. That feels better, right? No need to think. Don't think. Just don't think.
Which appear appealing in a tweet, but are significantly less agreeable in practice. The whole thing is almost funny in its absurdity. Nearly. Because there's more to the absurd picture of Trump attempting to seduce women with ice cream than meets the eye. This man has deliberately undermined women's rights and is now attempting to position himself as their defender. It's like having a fox protecting the henhouse. Only instead of a chicken costume, the fox is serving soft serve to the chickens. Trump's advertising strategies are twice as damaging as a sledgehammer and about as subtle. It appears that all he needs to do is acknowledge the difficulties faced by women without taking any concrete action to overcome them. It's like calling healthcare reform after applying a band-aid on a fractured leg.